All right, so we are going to go over how to turn your physique into power. This is the full playbook that I will literally give you on this channel so that you can go through and understand it's not just about building the body, it's about building the power and the presence that goes with it. I will show you how to build a body that actually commands the respect, not just build a bodybuilder like physique that just looks like you're like a GI Joe character with like a bunch of just things just attached to you, like how to build a very smooth, natural, and aesthetic physique, and also have the charisma, the confidence, as well as make money based on your physique, whether it be a personal brand, whether it be building a separate business outside of that, whatever that looks like, this will help you. And here's the reality, right? The harsh truth is that men and women, for that matter, judge other men based on their physique first. This is a literal guarantee. Everywhere that you go, you are being judged on how you look. It also has to do with your face, but it also has to do with your silhouette, how your clothes fit you, how you are actually presenting yourself. If you do not look powerful, no one will take you seriously, no matter how much money that you make. So let's get into the high status physique formula, right? So, this formula is your step-by-step roadmap to building the most powerful physique that you can. You want to train for dominance, not just for aesthetics. So, your non-negotiables are going to be broad shoulders, a strong back, thick arms, a V taper, visible abs, and a large, strong chest. And now I'm going to be real with you. This is not going to happen overnight. A lot of people, they say, well, Marta, I want to build a physique overnight. I want to have this body that like people look at and people respect and etc. I want to be able to respect myself. That's not going to happen overnight. But if you stick to the plan that I'm going to give you and you follow the science-backed methods that I'm sharing and the methods that I've gotten from bodybuilders like Vince Gironda, Mike Menser. These are all the things that I've put into practice for myself. You will start to see results. All of the people that work with me closely, even though they work with me on a multidimensional level where we're working on the physique, we're working on the confidence, we're working on the charisma, we're working on the mindset, we're working on all of these things. From the physique perspective, trust me that I've gone through it all myself and that the transformation is worth the work. I'm at this for about 11 years now in terms of my physique, fully natural. Haven't taken any steroid whatsoever, right? So let's get started. The basics, what you have to understand is mind-muscle connection mastery, right? So instead of mindlessly lifting weights, focus intensely on the muscle you are working on. So visualize the muscle contracting and each rep that you're doing and slow down the negative, the eccentric movement. Always slow down the movement when you come down, right? Then you want to have a deep connection that triggers more muscle fiber activation that leads to better growth. You always want to have active rest in between sets. What I like to tell people, if they want to do a little bit more, instead of just sitting idle, just on your phone, figuring some things out, during your rest periods, you want to be able to do light exercises such as body weight squats or planks or something along those lines, just to keep your heart rate up. It improves conditioning and it helps you burn more calories while still giving your muscles a break, right? Next, food is your fuel, right? So your nutrition is just as important as training, if not so more. So you think of your body as a high performance machine, and the fuel is the food is the fuel that powers it. So to build muscle, you need to consume more calories than you burn. So that's an emphasis on the protein. Protein is the building block of muscle, and without it, your body will not have the resources that it needs to repair and grow. So a good target that I like to say is 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of target body weight, right? Very, very simple way to put it. Key foods that you should include in your diet: lean meats such as chicken, beef, turkey, fish and seafood, eggs, beans and lentils, complex carbohydrates, not simple carbohydrates, such as oats, rice, sweet potatoes. Simple carbohydrates are like your Rice Krispie treats that a lot of bodybuilders like to eat before they train. There's a reason why that works. That works because before you work out, you need to fill your glycogen stores with fast acting carbs. That's why a lot of these bodybuilders or these guys who are super into fitness will consume simple carbs that are sweets and things of that nature to be able to flood themselves with the energy that they need for their muscles to be able to function the way that it needs to. Next is healthy fats such as avocado, olive oil, and nuts. And you have to understand consistency is king, right? So no matter how perfect your physique or diet plan is, it doesn't work. It won't work if you don't stick to it. So consistency is the most important factor in achieving long-term success. Results don't come from a few days in the gym or one healthy meal that you have. They literally come from showing up day after day, sticking to your plan, and making fitness a part of your lifestyle. You need small, consistent actions over time that lead to big results. Now, another thing you have to understand is hydration, right? Your muscles are made up of about 75% water, which people don't know. And dehydration can hinder your performance in the gym, right? You have to stay hydrated, which is crucial for maintaining energy levels, optimizing muscle function, and aiding in recovery. I personally struggle with this because I don't drink enough water throughout the day. Sometimes I feel extremely dry. My skin will break out, things of that nature. So you want to aim to drink at least 3 to 4 liters of water daily, and more if you're sweating a lot during workouts. You want to keep the water bottle with you throughout the day just to ensure that you're sipping consistently. I have one with me right now, right? People go, oh, it's plastic, bro. Like, plastic is so bad. Microplastics for your balls. Doesn't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, bro, my people older than you have been drinking water from plastic water bottles and shit like that. Doesn't do anything, bro. Just drink the water. Make sure you drink, and just make sure the water source is good, right? Next, you want to consider adding electrolytes to your water to replenish lost minerals and maintain peak performance. So recovery is where the growth happens. So it's easy to get caught up in the grind mentality where it's all about, like, I need to grind, I need to be in the gym hours and hours on end. But you have to understand that muscle grows when you rest. So after a tough workout, your body needs time to repair and rebuild the muscle fibers that you've broken down. This is where recovery comes in. So make sure that you're getting at least 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night, and give your muscles time to recover between workouts by alternating muscle groups and incorporating active recovery days. The next thing you have to understand, it's all about form over heavy lifting. So lifting heavy weights is great for building muscle, but proper form is even more important. If your form is off, you're likely to get injured, and that'll set you back for weeks or even months. It happened to me when I was deadlifting. Pulled the weight up. Next thing you know, I hear this thing in my back, or I feel this my spine just open up a little bit, and I pulled my lower back. I was out for like 4 months. I couldn't lift, right? Could barely walk. So you have to focus on mastering the movement first, and then you gradually increase the weight over time, right? This is called progressive overload. In this way, you're building strength and muscle safely and efficiently. Now, protein is a non-negotiable. To build muscle, protein intake is essential. So whether you're a carnivore, you're a plant-based eater, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, your body needs a consistent supply of protein to repair and grow muscle fibers. Protein also helps you feel full, right? It keeps you full, which is important if you're cutting calories during a fat loss phase. A lot of my clients that I work with, again, on the fitness side of things, I always make sure that if they're trying to lose weight or if they're trying to be leaner, they're eating enough protein to where, like, they don't feel hungry on a caloric deficit. And in addition to your meats, you should also have protein shakes that you consume, like healthy, like whey isolate. I'd stay away from whey concentrate because that will mess up your digestive system, and there's a lot of fillers in there. But you need that to be able to hit your daily intake. Again, you want to trust the process. Stay patient, right? A lot of people are not patient with business. They're not patient with life. They're not patient with their body. Building an aesthetic muscular body does not happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and most importantly, patience. So don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Progress can be slow, but it is happening. So you want to focus on getting 1% better every day over time, and you'll notice significant changes. And you have to stay consistent, right? So let's put all of this together when it comes to the overall fitness side of things. You want to train with intensity and purpose. You want to focus on progressive overload and form. You want to eat enough protein and calories to support muscle growth. You want to stay hydrated and make sure that you're drinking enough water throughout the day. You want to rest and recover your muscles to rebuild and grow. And you want to stay consistent with your training and nutrition, because consistency is what leads to results in everything in life, including fitness. You put all these factors together, you'll be on your way to building the body that you've always dreamed of, right? Again, if you want to work with me one-on-one to be able to build your body as well as your confidence, as well as just your attraction to women, even a business that you want to start, you want to have the mental clarity to be able to do it. If you want to turn your body into a business, pause, you know what I mean by that? In terms of turning your physique into a business, a fitness business, or maybe you want to use your physique to be able to get more business deals. Again, link will be in the description to work with me one-on-one to be able to do that. Now, the next thing is going to be nutrition, right? So nutrition is very important. The diet, making it work for you. Your nutrition is the backbone of your progress in the gym. No matter how hard you train, no matter how long you train, without the right dietary foundation, you won't achieve the results you're aiming for. You have to understand it is an 80-20 split. 80% of your results come from nutrition, 20% of your results come from the gym. Most people think it's the opposite. It's not. Right. So, whatever your goal is, if it's even to build muscle or shed fat, proper eating habits are essential. So, we'll break down what that looks like, right? Clear up any common misconceptions and just set you up with tools to design a plan that works, right? You can do it on your own. You may not even need me to help you. So, keys to success. Supplements might assist your journey, but they won't be the main driver behind the muscle gains that your food intake will provide, right? So, you need to consume enough quality nutrients to support both muscle repair and muscle growth, right? Think of food as an essential fuel and raw material for your body. So, without the right nutrients, even the best workout routine will fall short. You may have seen some people grinding in the gym for years and they have nothing to show for it. They look the exact same every single time that you see them in the gym. And often the missing key, the missing piece is their diet, right? So a well-rounded meal plan, rich in the right balance of macronutrients, proteins, carbs, and fats, there are only three, will energize your workouts and feed your muscles. Now, quick tip, prioritize wholesome, nutrient-rich foods and eat frequently to keep the body in an anabolic state, right? I always say frequent small meals are somewhat the best things that you can do for yourself. You know what I mean? So you always want to make sure that you're having something that's whole foods, that you're just increasing your metabolic rate as well. Again, keep your plan achievable. This is important. One of the most common mistakes that people make with a new diet is that they have overly ambitious goals. Your meal plan needs to fit into your existing routine and lifestyle. If it's too complex or demands too many sudden changes, you're likely to give up early. I struggle with this with clients early on when I first started working with people when it came to their health and their fitness, right? Gave them something that was too complex. They saw, oh, this is awesome. This is great. This is whatever. And next thing you know, they're failing. They're not even continuously doing what it is that they need to do. Why? Because it was too complex. So I started stripping down all of my nutrition plans and everything to be super, super basic so that literally a second grader could follow this. And it helped. And the changes were rapid, right? So, for instance, if you're trying to bulk up, don't push yourself to drastically increase your food take all at once. Allow your body time to adjust to higher calories. Start with smaller increases. Focus on calorie dense foods if you struggle to eat more. Now, a pro tip, prep your meals ahead of time so you're never caught without a healthy option when hunger strikes. All right, that's very, very important. Now, you can also outsource if you're a business owner, if you're somebody who's making enough money, which I hope you are because it's very, very important. You can outsource this to a meal prep service, or maybe you hire a chef. I have some clients who hire a chef full time to be able to cook for them, or they have a meal prep company that they hire to be able to deliver meals to them to eat so that they don't have to spend time on this. This will help you a lot with the friction of actually making food. Now you want to get comfortable with calorie tracking. If you're serious about reaching your physique goals, you need to become familiar with tracking calories. While you don't need to track every single thing for the rest of your life, having a good grasp on your daily intake will make a significant difference. You have to understand what it is that you are eating. You have to know, because there's some people who think they're eating less, but they're actually eating a lot more. They just don't know what certain calories are in certain foods. They could be consuming 3,000 calories and wondering, why am I so overweight? Well, I'm hungry. Yeah, because you're eating carbs, simple carbs that burn off energy very quickly and leave you hungry right after. So you think that you're eating little, but because you're hungry, but in turn, you're actually consuming a lot of calories. You know what I mean? So you have to start tracking your meals for a few weeks just to understand your eating patterns. Once you've got a good feel for it, you can modify your plan as well without needing to lose sight of your goals. Using a simple app like MyFitnessPal or just even writing things down can help you stay organized. But either way, you have to plan for success, right? And the saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? And it couldn't be more true for your diet. The huge mistake that most people make is not having meals ready when they need them. Preparing food ahead of time ensures that you stay on track even when life gets busy. Bonus pro tip, shit, find a wife or find a woman that can cook your food for you. A lot of y'all don't understand that's a hack. That's been my hack. I don't have to cook shit, which is good. I mean, I'm going to try to make some stuff now just to be romantic and shit. But you don't need to do that, you know? Pro tip, batch cook your meals for the week so you always have nutrition options ready to go, nutritious options ready to go. That way, you won't be tempted by unhealthy choices or end up skipping meals, which is also bad. Ideal macro breakdown, right? So here's a basic guideline for a muscle building diet: 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% fats, right? So this is a good starting point, a solid starting point, but you can adjust based on your specific goals and body type. For example, if you tend to gain fat easily, you might want to drop fats down to 10% and up, or by 10% or to 10%, and up the protein intake, or even drop carbs by 10% and up the protein intake. The key is finding the balance that works best for your body. Protein is the cornerstone of muscle growth. So protein by itself, without it, your body can't repair the muscle fibers that are being torn down during training. And it's important to consume 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. It's very, very important. Types of protein you can have: whey protein isolate, fast absorbing, ideal for post-workout recovery. Casein or casein protein, slow digesting, great before bed just to help you with overnight recovery. You have some whole food sources such as chicken, beef, fish, eggs. These provide sustained protein throughout the day. And you want to spread your protein intake evenly throughout the day to keep your body stocked with what it needs for muscle repair and growth. So we'll get past the how much protein do you really need, because I already said that, but we'll get into this. I also mentioned you need between 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of target body weight, right? The weight that you want to get to daily. For example, if you weigh 80 kilograms, around 176 pounds, you should aim for 160 to 100 or 240 grams of protein per day from a mix of whole foods and protein supplements, right? Best timing to take the protein to maximize muscle growth: you want to take it in the afternoon. So a high protein lunch will kickstart your muscle repair after an overnight and morning fruit fast, which we'll talk about the fruit until noon protocol. I have all of my clients do. Post workout, you have whey protein isolate immediately after training, which helps jumpstart recovery. And then before bed, a slow digesting protein like casein will support muscle repair while you sleep. You put this all together, building muscle requires a combination of smart training, well-structured nutrition, and an unwavering consistency, right? Now, here's a summary of what you need to focus on. Fuel your body with enough quality food, especially protein. Stay well hydrated to maintain peak muscle performance. Plan your meals in advance to avoid missing out on any key nutrients. Use supplements strategically, but rely on whole foods for the bulk of your nutrition. Stick with your plan. Results take time, but consistency pays off. By following these principles, you will be on the fast track to developing a strong aesthetic body you've been aiming for, right? So again, why do it alone when you have a power player like me that can guide you? So go ahead and link will be in the description here to be able to book a one-on-one call with me, a qualification call, to see if it makes sense to work together. You'll be able to see everything that's included in the actual on the landing page that you'll click on. You'll see everything. I have everything there. I have the price there. I have everything. Everything is transparent, right? And it's a full transformation, not just physical, but mental, as well as social and financial, if that's something that you need help with, right? Next, carbohydrates. Very, very essential. Carbohydrates are the body's primary fuel source, especially during intense workouts. So while some individuals opt to reduce their carb intake to cut fat, it's not always necessary if you are managing your calories properly. In fact, carbs can be crucial, especially when it comes to sustaining energy levels during training and preserving muscle mass. So without enough carbohydrates, your body may turn to both fat and muscle for energy. And losing muscle is the last thing that you want. So carb sources, some breakdowns, right? Low glycemic foods, the low glycemic index foods, low GI carbs, digest slowly, provide a steady release of energy, and they prevent insulin spikes, which can contribute to fat storage, right? Incorporating these into your diet ensures that you maintain stable energy levels throughout the day and avoid unnecessary fat gain. So some examples of this are sweet potatoes, oatmeal, wild rice, whole wheat bread, whole wheat pasta, green veggies, high glycemic index foods, which are more of the simple carbs, and these tend to have rapid spikes in your insulin, which often lead to fat storage. Minimizing high glycemic index foods is key if you're trying to manage fat gain, right? So you have white bread, sugary drinks, fast food, candies, and cakes. But you have to also understand when to eat carbs, carb cycling or carb timing, right? Certain times of the day are particularly important for carb consumption. So one critical window is breakfast, right? When you need carbs to replenish your glycogen stores overnight, or for an overnight fast, breakfast can be a good way to do it. Again, fruits until noon. Fruits are a great carb source that you can consume that will give you energy throughout the day. Post workout is another great time, right? Consuming carbs after training helps replenish glycogen stores and kickstarts recovery. For post workout, you can mix a whey protein isolate with milk as a solid option because the milk's carbs will help replenish the glycogen as well. If you prefer, oatmeal could also be a great post workout carb source. Rule of thumb: always avoid carb heavy meals late in the day unless you train in the morning. Unless you train in the morning, right? Adjust your carb intake based on your workout schedule and goals. Now, managing insulin, sugar, and insulin spikes. Refined sugar can lead to large insulin spikes, causing your body to stop using fat for energy, and it will start to store fat in your body, which is why you see a lot of fat people out here. Even in a caloric deficit, consuming too many sugary foods can halt fat loss and increase fat storage, even if you're in a deficit. So aim to keep your daily sugar intake under 40 grams outside of fruits because they are natural sugars. Be aware, though, because sugar can also be in many processed foods that you eat, those fucking granola bars that you eat, all of the different pastries that you consume that you think are savory, but really they have sugar hidden in them to keep you addicted. It's important to look and read the labels and make informed choices. Cut down on processed sugar, and that will make a great difference, a big difference in both fat loss and overall health. Right now, fats, let's get into that. Understanding the role of good fats and bad fats. Fats are an essential macronutrient that is important for both health and muscle development. So they are literally the most calorie dense nutrient, packing on 9 calories per gram compared to the 4 calories per gram that you get from carbs and protein, both having the same amount of calories, right, per gram. Fats are especially useful when you are trying to hit high calorie goals during, for example, lean bulking. So not only do fats support muscle growth, but they also help with hormone production, including testosterone, which is vital for muscle gain and also mental clarity and also aggression and all these things that men need to have. However, focusing on the right kinds of fats are important. So the good fats are like your unsaturated fats, which are the best fats to consume because they tend to lower bad cholesterol while boosting good testosterone or good cholesterol. Your polyunsaturated fats, particularly those rich in omega-3s, support brain function and overall health. Now, great sources of fats include olive oil, nuts, fatty fish, including salmon, right? Salmon, egg yolks. Now, bad fats. The bad guys in the fat world are the saturated fats and the trans fats, right? Saturated fats are typically found in junk food and they raise bad cholesterol and offer little to no nutritional benefits. Trans fats are also found in processed foods and are even worse and should be avoided entirely. When you reduce your intake of processed and fast foods, you will be able to avoid these unhealthy fats that keep your diet cleaner. Cholesterol in your body. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to eat eggs because of cholesterol, etc. Consuming too much saturated and trans fat can lead to high cholesterol, yes, for sure. But on the other hand, healthy cholesterol sources such as egg yolks can help with muscle recovery and growth. So by eating the right fats, you'll not only enhance your muscle building efforts, but you'll also maintain healthier cholesterol levels. Fat timing, which is important. Unlike carbs, fats don't have a strict timing rule, but it's a good idea to spread your fat intake throughout the day. So avoid eating fats late at night or especially like 5 p.m. as they can contribute to unnecessary fat storage. Again, why do all of this alone? I know I'm throwing a lot at you. Go ahead, link will be in the description. Book a one-on-one strategy session with me. Really, it's a qualification call to see if it makes sense to work together to help you build a powerful persona as a man. Build your masculinity, build your physique, build your mindset, build your confidence, build your attraction so that you can get everything that you want in life. Now, let's get into bulking. We'll kind of skim through this, right? How and why should you do it? If you are gaining muscle, if gaining muscle is your goal, a bulking phase is your fastest route to do it, right? Bulking involves eating more calories than your body burns, allowing you to put on weight, both muscle and inevitably fat, right? Now, caveat, a lot of my clients that I work with one-on-one, when I do things with them custom-wise, when I build these custom things with them, I don't have them do a pure bulk. It's a lean bulk. So they may be in a slight caloric deficit, but they also have a certain protein intake that they have to reach to be able to build the muscle so they can build that density while also keeping themselves lean. That's a fun fact, right? So it is important. So how you do it, start by consuming 500 to 1,000 calories above your basal metabolic rate, your BMR. So for example, if your BMR is 3,000 calories, aim to eat around 4,000 calories per day. Now, this strategy should help you gain about 2 kilograms per week if you're a beginner, and beginners can gain up to, honestly, 4 to 5 kilograms per week in the initial weeks, because it's beginner gains, as you heard from the bro science community. So bulking doesn't mean eating junk food or anything in sight. Stick to clean, nutrient dense foods and ensure that you're getting enough protein, complex carbs, and healthy fats. Final bulking tip, don't overdo the calorie intake. Eating 8,000 calories a day will just lead to unnecessary fat gain and will detract from building the lean physique that you're working towards. You will not have a high status physique. You will have a low status physique. You will be fat as fuck. You'll wonder what happened, and now you'll have to reverse back and then lean down again and lose the muscle. And it's a whole bullshit just cycle that most people go through, especially these gym bros. So by sticking to these principles, you'll build muscle effectively, efficiently, and you won't have that unnecessary excess fat gain, putting you at the right path to achieving your aesthetic goals, right? Again, why do it alone when you have someone like me who can guide you? Link will be in the description if you want to be able to work with me on that and other aspects of your life. Cutting, the path to definition. Cutting is the phase in fitness where you focus on reducing body fat to reveal muscle definition. After bulking phases that people have, they typically prioritize muscle gain. Cutting helps shed the fat gained without sacrificing too much muscle. So the main goal is to maintain muscle mass while creating a caloric deficit to burn fat. So the slower and more controlled the cut, the more muscle you'll be able to preserve as the fat is lost. So while advanced methods such as carb cycling and ketogenic diets, and they can accelerate fat loss, the key principle remains the same. You consume fewer calories than you burn. That is all it is. With the right strategy, again, cutting will help you maintain your hard-earned muscle and reveal a more defined physique. Now, the logic of cutting is straightforward. Consume fewer calories than your body needs to maintain its current weight, which is determined by your basal metabolic rate. So to achieve this, you can eat fewer calories, reduce your daily intake below your BMR, increase your activity, burn more calories, right? By adding cardio or increasing physical activity. Combining both approaches is often the most effective. Now, for a steady cut, you want to aim for around a 500 calorie deficit per day, right? A smaller 300 calorie deficit can also work for a more sustainable cut. For example, if your BMR is 3,000 calories, you'd be consuming 2,500 calories daily. That will create a 500 calorie deficit and allowing for gradual fat loss without too much muscle sacrifice, because your muscles do need the calories, right? Now, when to eat. Breakfast. After an overnight fast, your body needs fuel. Carbohydrates and natural sugars will replenish the glycogen stores and support muscle recovery. So aim to eat fruits and honey until noon. This is literally unique. Me and a few other people are the only ones that push this stuff. But fruit until noon supports fat burning by keeping insulin stable. Lunch. For these meals, aim for a balanced macronutrient ratio of 40% carbs, 40% protein, and 20% fats. This balance will maintain energy levels and nourish muscles throughout the day. Pre-workout meal. Before you work out, focus on carbs for energy with moderate amounts of protein and fats to fuel your session. Right? Ideally, have this meal an hour before hitting the gym to ensure digestion is complete and you're energized. Post-workout, critical meal for muscle recovery, right? Critical window. So fast digesting protein, like whey protein isolate shake, right? Paired with some sort of like a quick digesting carb, like whole milk, helps replenish glycogen stores and kickstarts muscle repair. You consume this meal within 20 minutes post-workout for the best results. Dinner time, as the day winds down, reduce your intake of carbs and fats. Focus on protein-rich dinners. to support muscle recovery and minimize excess calorie storage. If you need to fill up more, low GI vegetables like broccoli or spinach are ideal, right? Before bed, small protein source such as eggs or a casein shake can aid in muscle repair overnight. Egg whites are also a really good lower calorie option if you are concerned about extra fats. Again, this is complicated, but again, you don't have to do this alone. Link will be in the description to work with me. So let's talk about the optimal training and diet, right? Well, let's just talk about the training. Reps. You already know reps, right? Each time you perform a single movement of an exercise, like lifting a dumbbell up and down, like a bicep curl, we know this shit. It's called a rep. Sets, a collection of reps. We know that. Warm up sets. This is very important, right? These are practice sets with lighter weights or less intense effort done before you start the working sets. Warm up sets help your body get ready and reduce the risk of injury and increase blood flow to your muscles. So, for example, if your goal is to lift a heavy weight, you might want to first lift a lighter weight for a few reps to prepare your muscles and your joints. Now, working sets, right? These are the main intense sets of your workout. You'll use a challenging weight to push yourself hard. For instance, if you're lifting weights, your working sets are when you lift a weight that's heavy enough to make it difficult by the last few reps. This is like the Mike Mentor model, right? Working sets are mainly used to help you build strength, endurance, and or muscle. Drop down sets. So these are additional sets where after reaching your ideal limit with heavy body weight, you can lower the weight and keep going. For example, if you lift a heavy dumbbell for 8 reps and can't continue, you drop the weight lower and you do as many reps as you can. And this is a technique that helps to push your muscles further when they're tired, which can also help with muscle growth. Rest days. These are the days where you don't exercise and you allow your body to recover, which is essential because working out creates tiny tears in your muscle, which need time to recover and go stronger. So when you skip rest days, you get fatigue and you get injured, right? And the muscles cannot grow properly because they don't have the time to rest. So it's typically good to take at least 1 or 2 rest days per week. Time under tension, right? There's another one. It refers to the amount of time your muscles are actively working during each rep. For instance, if you take 3 seconds to lift a weight and 3 seconds to lower it, your muscle is under tension for 6 seconds per rep. Increasing time under tension, which means slowing down the rep, makes exercises more challenging and can lead to greater muscle growth by keeping muscles engaged longer. Progressive overload, we know, gradually making your workouts harder over time, adding weight, adding reps, adding sets, time under tension, longer time under tension, keeps your muscle growing and getting stronger. Next, we talk about body types, right? There are 3 body types that require a different approach regarding diet and training. When we go through each of them individually, you'll know exactly what you are. So, ectomorphs, they naturally are skinny and find it hard to gain muscle mass. And the key for ectomorphs is to eat a lot of calories and focus on the compound lifts like squats, deadlifts, and bench press that recruit multiple muscle groups. So that way, you'll also want to keep cardio at a minimum because you don't need to burn the calories that you need for growth. Mesomorphs tend to have a natural advantage when it comes to building muscle. I'm a mesomorph, right? So with a balanced diet and consistent training, mesomorphs will see results relatively quickly. However, don't let this make you complacent because you need to stay focused on your goals and push yourself with heavier weights and progressive overload. Endomorphs have a slower metabolism and tend to hold more fat. So the key here is to focus on a calorie controlled diet while incorporating both weight training and cardio. So endomorphs should aim to eat fewer refined carbs and more protein and healthy fats to maintain muscle while losing fat. These are the 3 that you can see here. Ectomorph, small frame, thin, very lean. Naturally lean, struggles to gain muscle or fat. Mesomorph, which is my build, it's more of naturally muscular, gains and loses weight with relative ease. Medium frame, muscular, lean. Endomorph, that's the big body guys, large frame, round, high body fat. Naturally carries more fat, struggles with fat loss, but gains muscle relatively easily. And obviously, I have some examples here of some training that you can do. Now, if you are interested in this, because I will not go over it in all this video because we have a long way to go with this long video. I hope that you are learning a lot. you can go ahead and download this free guide, this Physique to Power playbook that I have for you in the description. And you can see all of this and you can implement it for yourself. All right. So I'm going to skip through all of this and we're going to go straight down to section 2, which is influence and wealth. How do you build an online personal brand that commands attention and prints money? Right? Because yeah, you can build a physique, but what the fuck are you doing with it? Are you making money with it? Do you have a brand that people can know who you are and can attract more opportunities, whether it's for a new job or whether it's for, a coaching program? Maybe you want to coach people. Maybe you have an agency and you want to be able to take on more clients. Before building a standout brand, you have to understand what it entails, right? The origin of brands. Historically, a brand was a mark on livestock to denote ownership. This symbol carried various associations and meanings. A brand can signal quality, instill fear, or promise rewards. It's a vessel for meaning and association represented by a name and a symbol. So what significance do you want your brand to convey? Ask yourself that question. Now, we talk about creator branding, right? Where we're not branding cattle, but we're creating a creator brand that represents a lifestyle. So as a creator, let's say you built the body and now you're getting on YouTube and you're doing your thing, you embody your brand's essence, fusing every aspect of your life into it. So your personal brand is greater than just having a business, especially nowadays. Everybody who has a business nowadays, they're building a personal brand because they know that that's important. You get free leads, you get free customers. You don't need to pay for advertising as much. Advertising becomes cheaper. So most people make the mistake of starting a business without an audience to sell their product or services to. And you're sold on business models such as agency, e-commerce, drop shipping, paid communities, coaching, etc. While the business influencers who are selling you this business model are actually participating in the greatest business model of all time currently, which is they're using their personal brand to fuel their businesses and ultimately their pockets, which you should be doing as well, same way I'm doing it. So any business model works, right? Any business model works as long as people know it exists, aka marketing. So no entrepreneur with a personal brand is obligated to send 100 cold DMs a day, get someone interested in their service. They get significantly more inbound leads because they are attracting an audience through content. This is what I do here and on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, they barely even do paid ads anymore. I don't do paid ads, to be honest. I might start because, I want to be able to expand and get more people into my ecosystem. But organic content, especially on YouTube, is the best top of funnel for your business that you can have. It performs better than ads, right? And it is free. So you can virtually blow up any business if you know how to create the best content that is engaging, educational, and captivating. It's all about being known, being liked, and being trusted. So the goal for a personal brand is for people to watch you, to know you, like you, and trust you. So you separate yourself from the pack by having your face, your actual face on the camera and your name on the screen repeatedly and not being some anonymous account running a business. That is all just bullshit. You want to start to develop the charisma when you speak, and people will like you for who you are. And they're attracted to pretty much any product or service that you provide, considering it's good. Like, it has to be good. You can't be putting out bullshit. This is where the scammers and shit come along, where they're putting out bullshit that you can find on Google. No, even with what I'm showing you here, you can't find this shit on Google. This is unique to me. This is unique to my experience, right? Of course, building the physique, getting the recognition, getting the status, building the personal brand, making the money based on you and who you are. That's all unique to me. You can't get that shit on Google, right? So again, if you're interested in doing something like this before we move forward, link will be in the description as well. Like I said, multidimensionally jacked. I help men in different areas of their life. I have men who are building their personal brands and their businesses. I have men who are getting in the best shape of their lives. I have men who are trying to attract high quality women because they want more women in their lives. I have men who genuinely just need mindset shifts to be able to achieve new levels of wealth and new levels of achievements in their life. All of this is there. The path to power is there. So link will be in the description if you are interested in working with me. Now, the oversaturation myth, right? The market is 100% not saturated. Logically, you building a personal brand carves out your own niche under the umbrella of personal brands, which gives you infinite competitive advantage. Nobody has your life experience and nobody can replicate it. People buy from people they know, like, and trust, not just the services that they provide. For example, for me, there is not a single person on YouTube that can replicate me. If you go and see my most popular videos, you will probably see pages and pages of guys trying to replicate me. They cannot do that shit. They do not get the same results. Why? Because my own aura, my own energy, my own life experiences cannot be replicated. A black man living in Romania who's married, who also is jacked, who also has ran a lead gen agency, who has ran a tech company, who frequents across the world, who is globally known. That shit is not you can't replicate that. And you also have shit that people can't replicate. And you have to be able to package that up into a brand. So, steps to build a profitable personal brand. Big mission and vision. Right? This is what I do with a lot of my personal branding clients that I have in my multidimensionally jacked mentorship. So, how do you want to change the world? What's your mission? More importantly, how do you want to transform your audience? Because with every personal brand, the mission is the main focus, not you. That mission can be something that people are familiar with or brand new, sometimes outlandish, aka multidimensionally jacked. That's my fucking mission. That's what I do. You've never heard that before until me. That concept is basically the thing that you are getting people enlightened about. So it should peak the ascension of it should be the peak ascension of your audience. My peak ascension to you guys is for you to be multidimensionally jacked to where you have the body, you have the mind, you have the money, you have the woman, you have the social status, you have all these things, right? And you know your purpose spiritually and you're good. So to craft your brand origin story, list all of your life experiences and create a compelling story that is unique to you. I have an entire framework that I give a lot of my mentees to be able to craft their story, and it literally transforms their entire perspective of how they look at their brand. Everything that has happened to you and you have accomplished or failed in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, this is how people are going to relate to you and feel a connection ultimately leading to getting interested in the service or product that you provide. It will also provide you with an air of authenticity that is a breath of fresh air from all of the fucking gurus that fake a persona on YouTube and all of the other social media platforms looking to sell their services, right? Now, finding your ideal audience, marketing 101. Let's be real, right? You market to everybody, you market to nobody. You market to one person, you market to them and everybody else. That's the truth. Figure out who is the ideal person that you want to communicate with in your videos. Understand their strengths, weaknesses, fears, aspirations, lifestyle, overall interests. And ideally, that person is your past self that you are at least one step in front of progress wise. And all of your content will revolve around that character. And again, doesn't have to do with just coaching. I know a lot of you guys are thinking, well, maybe I don't have a coaching offer. Maybe I just have this business that I want more leads. Well, who is the customer avatar? Who's the ideal customer profile of the person who you're selling your service to, of the business owner that you're selling to? That's who you talk to. It's the same concept, right? Now, the unique mechanism. What are you going to show people how to use that will ascend them to that transformative state, aka help them achieve a bigger mission for themselves? And it can be a method widely known or brand new. The reality is there are really no new mechanisms anymore. Personal brands just dress it up with fancy words and get you excited to try something new. Again, we all have monkey brain. We all want the new shiny object shit. When I say multidimensionally jacked, fitness, business, attraction, dating, social status hacking, right? Social status engineering. That's my whole shit. I put everything together. It becomes unique. Now, don't get me wrong. This works and gets people results. But you have to understand that the game is being played to persuade you to adopt a new mechanism. And what skill or niche are you going to use to elevate people to that big mission and vision that you had? You make it very, very specific. Don't say something broad like self-improvement or making money. I know a lot of guys who do this shit. It's fucking broad. What is the specific around that? Building a personal brand for freedom, writing for clarity of thought and content creation. These are for my writers out there. Biohacking for optimal health. Now that you have that mechanism, a unique name, now you have to give that mechanism a unique name that will repackage the concept and make it more appealing and less boring. So number 5, right? Creating content. What are the 3 niches that you can forever talk about? These will be the 3 categories that you mainly focus on. For example, mindset, fitness, entrepreneurship. I can talk about that shit forever, right? Now dating, I guess, because people were asking me questions on that, and I'm married and I've made it. to say the least in that regard. But always include your unique mechanism as one of the key content pillars that you'll talk about. The least amount of friction on creating your content, the better. Brainstorm 3 content pillars that relate to your mission. Focus each video on one content pillar to keep your thoughts organized, and always structure your videos this way. Big idea, story, unique mechanism, logic-based argument, wrap up, right? That's the flow that I use for my videos that I make. That's how talking heads blow up, right? And you have to understand that YouTube is a very interesting platform where there is a funnel that you are going through as a consumer, and that you as the creator put other people in through. So the top of funnel is the awareness. So this content can be broad. It can attract people that are not aware of who you are. So motivational, inspirational, life stories. These are very broad things that can apply to everybody. Then you have middle of funnel, which is nurturing, right? This is content that needs to educate the top of funnel viewers that came through from a video that probably popped off, or a video that was super broad, and attract your audience to basically be interested in what it is that you have to offer. So how-to guys, literally what I'm doing right now. Deeper topics on the top of funnel content that performs the best. I do the same shit. What being a personal trainer taught me about women. I made another video about why, you shouldn't hire a personal trainer for your girlfriend or your wife or whatever. Like, bite off of the things that are doing well. High level advice, what I'm doing now, right? Giving you advice on these main things in a unique way that you've never seen before. Bottom of funnel, conversion. This content is made up of pretty much similar to middle of funnel, but it has more like case studies. It goes through like it's like super deep niche down educational concepts, how-to videos, specific stories and case studies on the niche problem that you're trying to solve or have solved. Next, you have building your offer, right? Your offer is the value that you're going to provide to your audience. Once you've found the problem you are interested in solving for your audience, create a solution vehicle that you will provide to your audience. Can be a coaching or mentorship offer, which is recommended to start because you can provide immense value fast, and you don't need to have an entire infrastructure to set it up. It all comes through here in your life experiences and how you can guide people. Then from there, you can create a digital product such as an ebook, a course, or a workbook. You guys see me do that all the time. I have ebooks, I have courses, I have all these different things that people buy daily, right? It could be an agency if you're more advanced. I created a lead gen agency, leveraging the expertise of contractors to solve business problems for your audience. If you have a more business-minded audience, ideally, your offer will cater towards a problem that can be solved for yourself that you will then replicate to the specific cases of your audience. Price your offer around a fraction of the value of solving that problem to your audience. It's very important with pricing. Your pricing should literally be less than the value that you're providing. Let's say you're providing $10,000 worth of value to somebody, which means what they get in return for working with you, the value is $10,000. You can charge $5,000 because now you're charging 50% less. So now it feels like they're getting something more than you do. That's the whole thing. If your offer is only, if what you're providing is, let's say $1,000, but you try to sell it for $5,000, okay, nobody's going to buy that shit. And if they do, they're going to be disappointed, right? So you have to understand what your value is. Like my offer, I'll tell you guys transparently, it's $5K, right? Why? Because it's one-on-one access to me on WhatsApp. It's one-on-one calls with me every week. I put together an entire roadmap to completely change your life, help you build the physique that you really want, help you attract the women that you want, which is fucking immensely invaluable, and help you be able to build more status socially, right? And help you build a business at the same time. Think of 4 value propositions in one that I can do with my unique mechanism that always works with each person. This is worth tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to some people, but I'm charging $5,000. So of course I'm going to have people, right? So that's how it works. Now, collecting the money you are getting for the value. You should be converting your audience on a regular basis to working with you. I always say this, free value. Yes, you can give out free value, but obviously people should be wanting to work with you, right? And this is because you're providing immense value to them and actually helping them improve their lives in one way, shape, or form. So with every client that you get, you need to be making your coaching program or your product better or your service better as you realize what's working for them and what's not working for them. So the value ladder of personal brands, online personal brands, right? Coaching, you start with that because now you can have intimate connections with your clients. You can talk to them, you can figure out specific systems that you can put in place to be able to give them repeatable results. Then you take those systems and you package it up into an info product, which is a course, right? You make this into a course, and then you turn that course into a paid community where you can give people some access to you. Maybe it's like weekly one-on-one calls, or maybe it's just like text, whatever, like you're just messaging within the community. That will expand that. And then from there, you create a physical product or a software as a service based on what it is that that community wants. Maybe they want a cologne, maybe they want a hat, maybe they want a certain whatever it is. You can create that, or maybe they want a software if it's a business community to be able to use, to be able to work with, right? So that's the value ladder. Now, offer free calls. Most people on social media lead with paid calls as their business model. This limits you to getting paid for your time rather than your value, right? So learn your audience and speak to them to figure out what problems you can solve, especially when you're just starting. When I was just starting, I was just doing free calls and I was figuring out what it was that people needed, and then pitch them your service and give them the opportunity to work with you. Don't be needy, just pitch them your services. And then as you build your clientele, improve your service and keep booking calls. These calls should be treated as a discovery mechanism to learn more about the intricacies of your audience's problem. Now, if you also want to help, if it will also help you refine your offer and find commonalities of problems amongst your audience. And they will help you create content around these problems and attract more people on these calls. Now, again, if you are interested in doing that for yourself, I've just explained a lot of shit. Book a qualification call with me to fast track your path to power. Again, it will be multidimensionallyjack.com. The link will be in the description. You will be able to see everything that I provide, see if it makes sense. Book a call with me. You'll see the price there. I've already said it here, right? But it's worth it. If it is something that you genuinely are passionate about and you want to achieve, and you have the work ethic to work with me to help you, literally handhold you to do this shit. Systems and everything. Crazy. So next, communication mastery, right? If you are reading this, you are ahead of 99% of people. Why? Because, or if you're listening to this per se, when you download this free playbook that I have, that will be, link will be in the description, you'll be able to have all of this as well. But you're ahead of 99% of people because you're taking the first step to leveling up one of the most underrated yet powerful skills in life, which is communication. Whether you're trying to make more money, build a high quality network, attract better relationships, or just anything, mastering communication is the cheat code. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. So let's break that down step by step. Why communication is your secret weapon? Well, communication is social currency. It is the skill that separates the average from the exceptional. So people who communicate effectively get more jobs, they earn more money, and they attract higher quality relationships. It's not just talking, it's connecting, it's influencing, and it's creating value, right? This is very important for you to understand. Now, key takeaways: high supply and low, demand and low supply. Right? I think I said demand. It's crazy. Basically, you have to understand that good communicators are rare. If you master the skill, you'll stand out in any field. This is how I mastered YouTube. This is how I stood out on YouTube. I was jacked and I was a good communicator. So, of course, I did get a significantly higher audience, right? Now, social and financial leverage. Communication opens doors to opportunities, relationships, and financial success. Always. So, actionable steps for you to take. Treat communication like it's a skill you're leveling up. It's not optional, it is essential. So, start small. Start improving one conversation at a time. Every interaction is practice, right? Step 2, shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Before you can communicate like a boss, you need to think like one. So, too many people operate from a place of scarcity. They see successful people as untouchable on a pedestal. But here's the truth: abundance is a mindset. You don't need money to think abundantly. You need to believe that success is inevitable for you. So, key takeaways: stop pedestalizing, right? Wealthy or successful people, they aren't better than you. They're just further along the path. Women, they're not better than you. They just have a different value that you're obsessed with because you're a man and you have genitals. They're not better than you. Also, visualize your success. See yourself as already abundant. Believe that financial success is inevitable, right? Actionable steps. 1, reframe your thinking. So instead of saying I can't, or anything of that nature, say, I will. Train your brain to believe in your own potential. A lot of people train their brain to literally reject their own potential. Step 2, practice confidence. Walk into every conversation like you belong there. You're not begging for opportunities, you're exchanging value. It's a big mental rewire for you right there. Next, the power of empathy, right? Understand their world. So, empathy is the foundation of great communication. It's not about you, it's about them. It's not about me, it's about you that's watching this video, right? So, what do they want? What are their goals, their fears, their motivations? When you can step into somebody else's shoes, you can speak their language and you can create a connection. Now, key takeaways on this, right? Ask, don't tell. Instead of talking about yourself all the time, ask questions to show genuine curiosity, because people love talking about themselves. And they love when other people like hearing them talk about themselves. Align incentives. I talk about this a lot in my content. Understand what other people stand to gain. Communication is a two-way street. Figure out what they can get and what you can get, and where those incentives align to where you're both getting what it is that you want. Always engineer conversations that way. So, actionable steps. Before meeting someone, research their interests. What drives them? Ask open-ended questions such as what's your biggest challenge right now? What are you the most excited about? Right? Listen actively. Pay attention to their answers. The more you listen, the more you'll understand how to provide value. Right? Build trust. Number 4, the currency of communication. Trust is the foundation of all successful relationships, especially in business. If people don't trust you, they don't do business with you. Period. Trust is built through competence, consistency, and authenticity. My entire YouTube channel is built on trust. I've demonstrated that I'm competent. I've been consistent as fuck on this platform, and I've been the most authentic. I don't hide shit. Everything is there, right? So key takeaways: show, don't tell. Demonstrate your expertise through actions, not just words. Body language matters. Your posture, your eye contact, your gestures speak louder than your words. I use my hands a lot, right, to talk. Why? Because gestures speak louder than words. I always look at the camera besides now because I have something that I want to be able to show you guys. Now, actionable steps: showcase your value, show testimonials, case studies, or examples of your work to build credibility, right? Master body language, eye contact, maintain steady, confident eye contact, posture and tall, shoulders back, right? Confidence is contagious. Now, hand gestures, right? Use your hands to emphasize points. You see me do this all the time. It makes your communication more engaging. 3, be vulnerable. Show that you're human. People trust authenticity, not perfection. All right. Number 5, persuasive communication, art of influence. Persuasion is not manipulation. It is about creating win-win situations, aka incentives aligning. So you need to show other people what you're offering is more valuable than what they're giving in return. It's all about perceived value. So key takeaways: value for value. Communication is a bartering system. You're trading value, not just words. Position yourself as irresistible. Make your offer so good that they can't say no. Make it so good. Actionable steps, for example, focus on how the other person will benefit. Use phrases like, this will help you achieve X, or you'll gain Y from this, right? What will they get? Use storytelling. Share stories, examples that illustrate your value. Stories are more persuasive than facts. They hit the emotional brain, the monkey brain of all of us, including myself. Make it a no-brainer. So position your offer as something that provides far more value than what they're giving in return. Next is mastering your body language, right? I'm throwing value for y'all, man. This is crazy. Y'all, transformations are coming. Your body language speaks volumes before you even say a word. So if you're slouched over, if you're avoiding eye contact, if you're fidgeting, people won't trust you. But if you're confident, you're open, you're engaged, you command respect. So key takeaways: powerful vulnerability. Show that you're open and honest. Vulnerability builds trust. I do this so much in my content. I give you guys my open story. I have what my dad taught me about women. I have times where I explain my breakups. I have times where I explain when I was homeless in San Francisco trying to figure shit out. I don't make myself seem like a perfect person because I'm not. Vulnerability, right? Next, you want to practice confident eye contact. Maintain steady eye contact to show that you believe in what it is that you're saying. Every time you look around and you dart your eyes, it's giving away that you don't actually believe what it is that you're saying, because eye contact requires a lot of sureness, a lot of just, I know what the fuck I'm saying, right? Strong shoulders, keep your shoulders back to convey confidence and power. Build your fucking physique. Your physique will 10x your body language, right? Especially if you do it in a way that's high status. You don't become some gym bro bodybuilder where they walk like they have to take a shit every 5 seconds. Like train like an athlete, train and do flexibility, do mobility, do all that stuff, right? Actionable steps, practice power poses before important conversations, stand tall with your hands on your hips. This boosts your confidence, right? Use hand gestures, use your hands to emphasize points. I'm doing this shit right now, right? Stand tall, or it makes your communication more dynamic. Number 3, maintain open posture. Avoid crossing your arms or slouching. Keep your body open and relaxed. Number 7, read, write, and speak, the trifecta of communication. Improving your communication skills isn't about talking, it's about reading, writing, and practicing. So there are 3 elements that work together that make a more effective communicator. Number 1, read more books. Reading expands your vocabulary and helps you learn how to structure ideas. I read every day. It's important. I've been reading since I was literally like probably 10 years old or earlier, right? Write regularly. Writing helps you organize your thoughts and improves your ability to articulate them. Practice speaking. The more you speak, the more confident and effective you'll become. So, actionable steps, right? Set aside time throughout the day to read books on various topics. Focus on authors who inspire you. Mine is Robert Greene. We have not Dorian Gray, Oscar Wilde, Friedrich Nietzsche. I have a lot of different authors that inspire me, but I read them a lot. I'm looking at my books right now to remember. Journal daily. Spend at least 30 minutes a day journaling. Write down your thoughts, your goals, your experiences. Number 3, practice speaking. Record yourself speaking and analyze your performance. Look for areas where you can improve. All right. Number 8, practice, practice, practice. Communication is a skill, and like any requires practice. The more you practice, the better you'll get. Start small and gradually work your way up through more challenging conversations. So engage in conversations, like talk to people in your daily life, ask them about their day, their interests, their goals. For example, if it's women, go talk to any woman. Literally strike up a conversation, practice that, right? Be curious, show genuine interest in others. People appreciate when you take the time to understand them. Record and analyze. Record yourself speaking and analyze your performance. All my clients do this shit all the time, right? That need help with communication. Look for areas where you can improve. Now, actionable steps. Talk to everyone. Start conversations with cashiers, colleagues, strangers. Every interaction is practice. Ask questions. Show curiosity about others. Ask them about their lives, aspirations, and experiences. Analyze your performance. Record yourself speaking and look for areas to improve. Focus on your tone, your body language, your clarity. Number 9, learn from the best, right? Learn from the best. Study the great communicators. Steve Jobs. You can look at anybody who's a well spoken person. Watch how they speak, how they tell stories, how they connect with their audience, and learn from their techniques and apply that to your own communication style, right? So key takeaways. Study how effective communicators like Steve Jobs or Robert Greene speak. Analyze their techniques. Pay attention to their body language, their tone, their storytelling techniques. Actionable steps that you can take. Watch and learn. Watch videos of great speakers and analyze their techniques. Apply what you learn. Incorporate those techniques in your own communication style. Communication is the ultimate skill. Mastering communication is, along with your physique, along with building a brand for yourself to be well known, it's the key to unlocking your potential, right? That's how you become multidimensionally jacked. It is a skill that will help you make more money, better relationships, and achieve your goals. So you start today and you commit to the process. Every conversation is an opportunity to improve. So key takeaways. Communication is the bridge. It's the only thing standing between you and financial success. Literally, if you're broke right now, it's because you can't fucking communicate. That's why. Can't communicate value. People don't understand how you can help them, so they can't exchange money for you. A job. You can't get a job because you can't communicate your value to the job. Can't get a client because you can't communicate your value to the client. Mindset is everything. Shift from scarcity to abundance to communicate effectively. Empathy and trust. These are foundations of persuasive communication. Value for value. Always focus on how you can provide value to another person. Now, final words. You now have the blueprint. The Physique to Power playbook isn't information, it is a call to action. So the difference between those who stay trapped and those who level up in life is relentless execution. Most men will listen to me say this and even get this and read it and do nothing. But there are a few that will take action and they will build a dominant physique. They will have an elite personal brand. They will have a cash flowing business and they'll have the charisma that gives them control over their life, complete control. And if you're serious about breaking free and accelerating your path to influence, wealth, and independence, book a one-on-one call with me. Link will be in the description. It is multidimensionallyjack.com. And I will personally help you craft a powerful brand, build your audience, monetize it, build your physique, and help you be able to attract the best woman for you and give you the life that you've always wanted. Your time as a follower is over. It is time to become a power player. Hope this was valuable for you. Very, very intense, very, very action packed, very, very useful. And I will catch you on the next video.